Hi, welcome to another episode of Chop It Up with your girl Lebene, and right here today I have a very, very special guest with me. We are here with Oxlade, all the way from Nigeria. He's here to talk to us about his latest album, OFA, which stands for Oxlade From Africa. So Oxlade, how are you?
I'm blessed, and you?
And good. I'm good. How is the Canadian weather? I know it's Winnipeg and Edmonton.
It's my second stop, so I'm still getting to.
Yeah, you're still getting to
understand the concepts.
That's great. I like to start off with something called like Chop Choices, just to get a kind of a glimpse of where's your head at. So, if your new album OFA was a meal, what dish would it be and why?
So for me, the album is too much to be called a meal. I feel like it's a buffet.
Okay.
Yeah, so just serve yourself.
So
it's different African meals.
So so buffet, you start with breakfast. No, not buffet.
Nah.
But like
African
the full course meal.
Yeah.
So what would be on this full course? Like you can just mention some of them.
Okay, so like the song with Sarkodie. I think it's like a chicken.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a Ghanaian meal with tilapia fish.
Okay.
Yeah, the song with flavor can be called oha soup and eba.
Okay,
It's different Nigerian delicacies. Yeah, the song with popcorn can be, rice and peas.
Okay, what about the one with Fally Ipupa?
You know what, yeah? Literally everything I ate in Congo banged. But there's this particular one, plantain and like, I think, I've forgotten the name of the sauce. I think
was it green?
It's not green, it's like stew.
Oh, okay.
It's like African stew, but like every food I ate in Congo slapped.
Okay.
So yeah, they know what I'm talking about. I don't remember the name, but like
Okay. So, with your music, I feel like it's very melodic. There's a lot of like, especially your voice. I like to say it's angelic.
Thank you so much.
Because that's like that one track you have with Mawutor. Is it Wait For You? That one I was rinsing it like crazy back in the day. But are there any like African proverbs that resonate most with you that kind of like you live by as an artist? Or even if it's not maybe an African proverb or like a saying you've heard kind of like growing up, things like that?
It means a word is enough for the wise. I can only give you the word. It's left to you to implement and amplify it. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. So if I know on your album you have Popcan, you have Fally Ipupa, you have One Day Cole, you have Sarkodie. So, but if there's like any other like maybe it's historical African musician kind of dead or alive that you would want to collab with, who would they be?
So there are two people that comes to my mind like that I would love to make music with. Alive, I wouldn't mention the name because there's always hope.
It's in process. Yeah, it's in process.
There's always hope for me to work with anybody alive. But like dead, I think Fella and a guy called Majek Fashek.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of those mega superstars that made that paved way for the likes of Brian Wiz David, to be able to even do stadiums because he was doing stadiums before a lot of people. So yeah.
Okay, so what emotion do you hope your listeners kind of listen to when they hear your album? Because I know the emotions I feel, and I've been listening to your music for a long time, but like, for any maybe new listeners, what do you want them to get out of it?
I mean, if you're trying to know Oxlade, just listen to his music. I mean, my music is like a journal for me. I don't make fictional or Disney stuff. I make real music. I make realistic music. I sing about different episodes and phases in my life. So it's like, you've heard Close Up, but you want to know the man behind that record, right? Go and listen to the album. You'll understand me more. Okay,
so I know you said your album is a full course meal. We understand. But if you could describe it using 3 words, what would they be?
Ethereal, African, authentic.
Love it. Oh, okay, that's good. I like it. So like, I want to talk about like you growing up in Nigeria and making music. What are some things like early on that people would say about you as a child? Like, are there any like funny stories or things that you can share? Like, Oxlade was like this, maybe in school, maybe at church, maybe at home, like things that were so like distinct about you.
Yeah, when I was a toddler, I used to disturb the church. So after like the church service is done, I'll just crawl to the drum set and hold the stick and just start banging everywhere. Disturbing the meeting everybody's having. That's one. 2, the moment my grandma knew like I was meant to make music for a living, I think she was always she had a shop, right? And she wanted to teach me how, you know, things were being sold and whatnot. And anytime she goes to the market, because she has a salesperson, I would leave the shop to go play football. So one day she promised, like, and threatened me that she's going to the market. If she doesn't see me in the shop, she'll flog me. Do you understand? So she got back and she didn't see me in the shop. So she already took the cane, looking for me around the compound. And then she got to the compound it was a birthday party, and I was leading the praise worship. And she saw everybody. I think I was 8, 9. Everybody was in awe. They were in the spirit. And I wanted to just run to go and meet her when I saw her, because I knew I was in trouble. But she said, continue. And then, you know, right after that, she said she would never stop me from making music again, because she saw the reaction and like the impact that my talent had in my compound. She already foresaw like what it would have on the world at large.
So that means like from early on there was that encouragement and support.
Yeah, actually the reason why she didn't want me to do music was because like everybody in our family does music. So it's like, you're my first grandchild, you have to be a doctor.
Do something else.
Yeah, you understand? So that's
but she's proud of you today.
Yeah, always has been.
What was it like now this is like your first big tour, right? And you're doing 30 cities, I believe, and you're doing Canada, America. Is it America? You're doing Europe. So I know this is just your second stop, but with everything going on and progressing, how, like, what are some ways you or things you do to help like take care of yourself? Because I know it's like this location, this city, this country. Like, how do you take care of Oxlade and all this?
Everybody takes care of Oxlade, not just Oxlade taking care of himself.
So
I think it's a team effort. Like, everybody puts in work to make sure I'm mentally sound, mentally stable. I, on my own self, I tend to work out a lot when I'm on the road, just to steam off, you know, the pressure.
Yeah, I saw the video on your Instagram this morning.
Yeah, so like basically I do different rituals. I pray.
Okay.
I speak to my grandma, I speak to my family back at home. I watch movies a lot. You know, a lot of things to just take the steam off. So
you mentioned earlier about like playing the drums when you're a toddler. Do you still play drums or any other instruments now? Or
I didn't follow on it. They won't let me. Said I was gonna tear up the drums.
So I was like, no.
Nah, so I just moved to singing full time.
So like singing like your instrument then?
Yeah, my voice is my instrument.
Okay, so I want to go through a few like rapid fire. I'll just say a word and you let me know what the first thing comes to mind.
Okay.
So music.
Oxlade.
Home.
Lagos.
Success.
Michael Jackson.
Love.
Jesus.
Future.
Greatness.
Okay, I love that. So I want to get into the album. So I see with IFA, it features Fally Ipupa. And one thing I realized is that I feel like there's a little bit of a bridge between like Anglophone artists in the continent and Francophone artists, because they have their own thing going on. They're selling out stadiums, they're doing their thing, but sometimes we don't really see that bridge. So I love that you came together on this. So why was this relationship important, and can you also speak about like your time in Congo, what that was like for you?
I mean, if you're going to make an African album, you need to include the Francophone speaking side of Africa. Yeah. And I feel like what people don't understand, that's an untapped market for like we English speaking African countries, because we have more African French speaking countries than English speaking countries in Africa. So like I felt like it was only right, aside from the fact that Fally's a legend and you know, he's someone I've always wanted to have in my catalog. So like, you know, we need more collaborations like that. You know, before our time, there were times where, you know, the French and the English speaking African countries were making collaborations with artists like, you know, J Martins, like Flavor, making songs with like different, you know. But now this generation, I think it's time for us to unlock that market again.
Okay, I agree. So I realized with like the song you have with One Day called As Soon As I, and then you have another one, Category. So I realized that the spelling is interesting. It's very Oxlade. Yeah. So how do you come up, is it like the tonation of like where you're from that you come up with because when you see it, you're like, and then when you hear the song, you're like, wait, Category. Okay, this is not the spelling that I see, but it's still the same thing. So how do you like, are you somebody who comes up with a lot of like slogans or things like that, or how do you go about that?
So it's not, the pronunciation is not very Oxlade, it's very African.
Okay.
So Ifa is what I was saying there, which I was literally saying, which meant if I.
Okay.
So it's if I ever be your man, I'll choose you before anybody. So it's like the entire aesthetics of the album. If you're trying to really go African on them, you have to actually sound African. Okay. So it started with Kulosa. Kulosa gave me the insight, like, you know, and then from then I did Asunasa, Category, and you know, English is not our language at the end of the day, so we have to make it as African as possible. So, yeah, the authenticity is also part of the market we're selling.
Yeah, so I just saw that your music video for Our Rich Mother is out. So like, it's showing, like, when I was watching the music video, listening to the music, it's showing you like, you're a boss, I'm rich, I got the money. Like, I think it plays into ego a bit. What do you say? What would you say? More
like prophecy.
Okay.
It's just being a RMF is a state of mind. Everybody wants to be an RMF. Do you understand? So it's like everything about the album is prophetic. Also, you know, you have songs like "Blessed" featuring Popcorn, which I was singing about how blessed I am, and you know, exalting God's name in my life. So RMF is like a state of mind that I am prophesying for myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not really ego. I feel like ego is like used for people that have low self-esteem.
Because they have to like play up to it, but it's like you speaking into what you want.
Vulnerability is more stronger than ego. Like vulnerability is a greater sign of strength than ego.
Okay, I want to talk about vulnerability because I feel like listening to your music over the years and even listening to this album, you do become vulnerable, and I think not a lot of African artists may tap into that. So what makes it kind of not easy, but how do you feel like expressing your emotions through music is able to help you like not feel like, oh, people are listening to me and I'm saying this? Like, because some people, they don't want to be vulnerable, they want to keep it to themselves. So how do you kind of gauge that?
I mean, those that don't want to be vulnerable, is up to them. Right? I mean, at the end of the day, you have to be vulnerable to something or someone in your life. You're human, you're not a stick. So if you don't even show your vulnerability in public, I mean, someone sure does deserve that. But with me, like, I was raised in love. My family showed me the power of vulnerability and love and goodness, being a good person. So me infusing that in my music is like a no-brainer for me because it's part of my aesthetics, it's part of my identity. So yeah. Okay,
I love that. So when I was listening to Intoxicated, you say over and over again, love is overrated.
Not like I said it over and over. It's part of the chorus.
I know, it's part of the hook. It's part of the so like, what did you mean? Because right now what I'm seeing is that like, I feel like in the last like September, October, there's been a lot of like public celebrities breaking up. People are sad. So I was like, okay, is he saying maybe like love is overrated in that like, okay, you can love somebody, but it's okay, it's overrated? Or are you like saying like, it's good that love is overrated?
I feel like with the experience that I've had in life, yeah, there are two loves. There's true love. Okay. And then there's just love. Okay. True love is hard to find. But the love we have in this generation is so overrated. Like, it's not true love.
So it's like not real? Or?
It's scarce.
Okay.
Do you understand? Okay. So like, when you see true love, you cherish it. But the love that we share right now is overrated because like marriages don't last. So was there ever love in there? Do you understand? Like, you're preaching love to someone, but you're not acting it. Do you understand? Like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to get too deep, but I'm sure you understand what I'm coming from.
No, I'm getting what you mean. Yeah. So like, listening to the album, I feel like obviously it says it's Oxlade From Africa, and there we have Fally Ipupa, we have Popcorn, we have Sarkodie, we have One Day Cold, and so many other artists. How important was it for you to include these artists, and what was that like process like? When you were like choosing songs, and you're like, okay, who do I want on this? Is it like, you're like, okay, I feel like I hear this person on this track, yeah, let me get them on it? Or like, just let us know what that was like.
I've always said I never wanted to be a rave of the moment. I've always I want to be a timeless artist, not a hot artist. Do you understand? So in me aiming for that, I have to work with classical artists also. Every song on that album needed every artist that was on that album also. Like, if you even look at it from the zonal perspective, like, if you're trying to speak for Africa and the black community, you have to touch different types of black. Like Santen Dave is representing the European black. And mind you, he's also from Nigeria, Benin City to be precise. Sark is West African, representing the Ghanaian black. flavors representing the eastern side of my country, Nigeria, the Eastern Black of Nigeria. Popcan is representing the Caribbean Black. Literally, like, everybody has its purpose and are representing their own side of the Black world that we're trying to preach. And you know, the entire motto for me for this album is that being Black is a flex. And I'm just trying to embrace where I come from and what I stand for. Like, your identity is your biggest weapon. Yeah. So you have to know yourself, and knowing yourself is bringing people that are just like you together to create an amazing body of work like this.
Okay, that's cool. Is there any like interesting stories about like these collaborations? Maybe you can mention like one when you're collaborating with an artist.
Okay.
Yeah, just like mention one of them.
Before Dave gave me the verse, he took me to a store to interview me.
Okay, interesting.
My man just took me to a store and like we were just seeing dope designs, and then he asked me, Oxlade, why do you want me on this song? Like, why did you choose me to be on this song? And then I go, the song is a story, and I feel like Santan is one of the greatest storytellers in our generation. Apart from even being a rapper, he tells stories right, he narrates stories well, and he's the right person for that song, because that song was also like Afro swing, like a UK pop, so you know, he would fit in perfectly onto it. And then he said, okay. I just needed to know I was the right one. And then we went to record it.
I love that. So I see that like, I think it's Ololufe with Sarkodie, if I'm saying that right. I see that this is not the first song with him that you have. This is just like on your album. So you have like it seems like a long-standing relationship with him. So how did that start, and what is that like relationship like, studio-wise and music-wise?
I learned something from one of my big bros. His name is Bizzle. Okay. Bizzle Shikoya. He used to tell me, relationship is the new currency. I feel like you need relationship to survive. Generally, like not just in love, in life also. And you know, building these relationships always keep you like up top, because it's like favor for favor type of settings. So with Sark, he's like my big brother, and you know, him believing in me from the jump, I just felt like he needed to be on my debut album. It's a no-brainer for me.
Okay. Love that. So the first track features Bobby Wine, which I believe is a Ugandan like activist. So how important was that to have him on? And I think it also speaks about like police brutality and like the youth in Africa. And we're seeing a lot of issues surrounding the continent right now. There's a lot of protests and things going on for youth wanting a better Africa, wanting their country to be better. So what was the thought process behind bringing Bobby Wine on, and then putting that like as the first track?
Before we went into the melodies and the love songs and the controversial songs, we needed to remind African youths about what we're actually trying to speak about, which is the new Africa. We needed to remind them not to forget the sole purpose that we are trying to fight for, a better Africa. And Bobby Wine having to be a symbol of hope for we Africans, who also happens to be an artist. People don't know Bobby Wine is an artist also from Uganda. He started off as being a reggae dancehall artist, and then, you know, he got called by God to stand and represent the Ugandan youths. And also we have our own side in Nigeria. You know, we fighting for better governance, police brutality. You know, it was just right for me to give them a reminder and a wake-up call towards, you know, regardless of whatever you might hear on the album, you need to know, you know, that we are fighting for a better Africa, and the future is now. The future is not tomorrow. The future is now.
Cool. You have this track Blessed with Popcan. Have you ever been to Jamaica? No, but I know you want to go?
Definitely.
Okay, I lived there, so yes. For
real?
Yeah, I lived there for a while. But like, what was that process like, working with him and like reaching out to, because I feel like when I do listen, some African artists have like a lot of song about being blessed. So what were you trying to kind of like say, and also like that like collaboration with him, how did that come about?
So when we, like, the last time I saw him, we was in Malta. Okay. And he said something. He said they don't expect youths like us to make songs this positive anymore, and that's why I jumped on the record. and I felt it. Like I felt it down in my bones, because like in an era where we were all singing about how much we got, about about guns, about violence, about different types of flex that we shouldn't be singing about. I mean, who am I to say anything about that? That's just my opinion. I felt like it was only right to make more positive songs.
Okay.
You understand? People need to feel grateful to be alive. People need to feel blessed also. So I'm just like a point of contact to anybody feeling down, just to hear that song and remind them that, oh, you're blessed regardless of whatever you're going through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. I love that. I think the last things I want to wrap up with is, so you're in Canada for the first time, correct? And we know it's cold, but I know you just were in Winnipeg and you're excited to see Edmonton and you're going to be moving on. So far, how has the energy been and like the reception from the people been like since you've been here? Yeah,
it's been shocking because like, I've been on tour for a while, and there's some songs that I call performance tracks, and there's some songs that I call raving tracks. So I was expecting, I'm speaking about Winnipeg now, like my first show. I was expecting some songs for the crowd to not just sing and just enjoy it, but the craziest part is they know every song word for word. So now my heart is open. I'm gonna even perform more tracks that I thought they wouldn't know, because now they've shown me that they really are into my music, and I'm gonna give them a great show. Yeah,
I think that's the thing people don't know. I think Canada's new, like it seems newer to a lot of Afrobeats artists, but we've been here. There's a lot of us.
Yeah, I was telling someone yesterday, like Canada is like the new UK, because like not in terms of like comparison, but in terms of how much they love Afrobeats. Like Canada is beginning to even show me more vim than I expected them to.
Because I know the government, there was like one of the people in government, he was a white guy, and he was like talking about the Burna Boy concert. He's like, and it was like live on like TV. It was like, yeah, oh my gosh, I love Burna Boy. And all the Africans were like, wait, what? So like they are watching and they know like the sound and how powerful it is.
So I said being black is a flex and Africa is the new cool.
Okay. I love that. Thank you. This has been another amazing episode of Chop It Up with Oxlade, and check out his latest album, Oxlade From Africa. It's out now. He's going to be touring around Canada, the States, Europe, so make sure you check him out on tour. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. And where the King the People, can you let people know where they can find you?
On all platforms, actually. Oxlade Official, anywhere.
Alright, thank you so much. This has been another episode, and we will see you all on the next episode. Have a great night. Bye. Or day.